So, welcome to another edition of Got Gameplay on our YouTube channel. Normally, we start off with gameplay, but this time, it's one of those situations where I feel like the characters bring something to the world, and if I don't show you this part, you're never going to really understand what I mean. So let's just take a break from talking for a second, Christine. Christine Chubb's with us.
Hello.
Just to experience what the characters and the personality of Evolved are.
We get off of this rock, what are you gonna do with your shares?
Well, I should report back to Ganymede. But if we get out of here, I'd sort of like to follow this through. See where these monsters came from.
You notice how everyone's talking like we won't make it out of here?
Yeah, I do.
You think we'll make it?
I think two things. I think most of us will make it out of here.
Most of us.
And I think whatever happens, it will not be straightforward. Getting out of here is gonna be like everything else so far. Complex.
Sounds about right.
So that is a little bit of the interactions that happen between the characters. And I find that one to be a little bit more depressing than normally they are. I do not know why that one was so depressing compared to many of the other ones that I've seen. Many times they joke about, hey, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? Who's going to barbecue this monster that we're going to kill? Stuff like that.
I kind of like the interaction. It reminds me of of Alien, where they're all sitting around the cantina having a conversation, but really the seriousness of their situation is still at hand, and they know that they're going to have to go in and kind of kick a little ass.
Yep, which is what's happening right now. We are chasing, we being me and the people who are here. It looks like in this game that I have recorded, it was me and two other players and one robot-controlled or AI-controlled character versus the monster who is player-controlled. I'm playing the assault class in this round.
So you're the big feller.
Yes. I'm actually, in terms of the big fellas, I'm actually the first one you can unlock. There's 3 different characters for every class. There's 3 assault, 3 support, 3 medics, and this is the second level of the assault. And I really like this guy because his arm is basically this flamethrower, and it does a lot of damage. He also has a Gatling gun, which I do not use as much, but yeah, it's useful. And he can also fire these smoke grenades, which to you as humans do very little, but to the monster, it basically says, okay, if you don't get out of here, this is going to kill you. Some sort of poison. So yeah, so we kind of just got into the action with this one. Mm-hmm. It's us in this bubble with this monster.
Is that the monster right there?
That's one of the monsters. There's also 3 monsters. There's 3 of everything.
Oh, okay.
There's 3 hunters, 3 medics, 3 monsters, 3 of everything. I forget what they call this one. This one is the most annoying monster, though. Like the one that you see in all the publicity photos, trailers, stuff like that. Yeah, the big Goliath is what he's called. Much easier to take on than this guy, who's really tricky. He disappears a lot.
Oh, sneaky! And
then he becomes this sort of glowing white ball of energy with blade arms. And at that point, I'm not entirely sure that I'm doing any damage to him, but I figured when I was the assault class and they said, hey, the assault class just does damage, I figured that I could probably do less damage to my team by just being the guy who stands there and keeps firing, since that's what they say my class should be, which is why I took assault. So I really don't know how much my damage really affects this dude. It affects the Goliath a lot more. I know that much.
So with the 3 different kinds of characters for this one class, are all of the weapons similar? Like, does each class get some kind of projectile and the other kind of a gun?
They follow similar lines, but their equipment tends to be different. I mean, all of the assault classes, it appears, have a shield. I would say that all the support are able to help out the support people, the other people, with you know, shields and stuff like that. All the mechs can heal. They have baseline attributes that can spread across all the characters. But, for example, there is a hunter in the game that can throw like these stasis balls at the bad guy, at the monster, which will slow him down, which is something I've only seen that one guy do. There's a support class guy who is actually a robot as we take down the monster. He has turrets and UAVs that can be launched out to follow the monster really quickly. So they all have, you know, they follow the same sort of idea, but they all have their own unique attributes, if that makes sense.
It does. So this is you as the monster now, eh?
Yes, this is me as the Goliath specifically. And I've never been good at the monster. Like, they've already found me and they've trapped me.
Oh, no.
So I should say, though, this was more like 5 or 6 minutes into me running around. At this point, you really haven't missed much of what I was doing as a monster. I was literally trying to run around, escape these guys, collect resources. That's a lot of what being the monster is at the very beginning, which is why this game it's a weird situation where if you're in the right situation, it's fun. If you're in the wrong situation, it's kind of boring. And the monster at the very beginning, at least to me, is the wrong situation because your job is to go collect resources and avoid these guys as much as possible. But if you get captured, or at least, you know, delayed by being stuck inside their little portable coliseum here,
I was going to say
ballerina.
That's part of the trapping, right? Okay.
The trapper can throw this ballerina. It's one of the skills that all the trappers have. There you go. The ballerina's down, so now I can escape.
How do you get out of that situation? Do you have to repeatedly beat the trapper, or?
As far as I understand, you just wait for the ballerina to shut down.
Oh, okay. So it's time sensitive.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was never really good at the monster. I'll be honest.
You just wanted to walk around and collect your stuff.
I was much better. And I've actually seen some really good monster players where I don't know if they're not eating anything, if they're literally always just running around. But I was, you know, running around, collecting resources, taking down these people. But they would still catch up to me pretty quickly. And I feel like part of it's not knowing the map.
Yeah.
Because I realized later, once this was done, they gave you sort of a breakdown. It turns out I took sort of a long way around this time, where they took a shorter path, so they were able to catch up to me much quicker. But I'm not really that great at the monster.
Are there lots of like hiding spots on the maps as well?
No, not really. I tried to hide. In fact, during this mission, I tried to hide, and the AI-controlled guys literally bypassed where I was hiding. Like the trail that I left for them to try and, you know, keep going, and literally just came at me.
Oh.
And I think you might see it during this, but I'm not totally sure. But that was like something that really bugged me. It's like the game suggested, hey, you should probably just crawl. Like, exactly, like it says right now.
Yeah.
I think this is probably it. It says do a stealth maneuver, which is hold down this button, and you won't run as fast, but you won't leave a path either.
Okay.
So I do that, and I start sneaking along. And I sneak for a good while, for as long as I think I can without them catching up to me. And, like, they're not really right behind me. They're entering the cave I just exited. So they shouldn't be able to see me. So I'm like, okay, well, this might be confusing enough to them. Here I am, sneaking along. Perhaps I will have left enough of a trail that they'll go right past me, and I can run back in the cave, and, oh, everyone's confused. That would be great. So.
But it didn't work out that way.
No, it didn't work that way. Look at them. I just used what's called basically my sense or my smell sense, but it's just basically that button that says you press and says.
Oh, that's so cheap. They like walked right up to find you.
Exactly.
Like obviously he is up there.
I don't know. Perhaps that was just me being terrible at the monster. I really admit I am horrible as the monster. Much better as the assault. But I think that this is going to be a game where it's like, well, I could tell you how it is right now, but in a couple of weeks, everyone's going to learn their roles very well. It's like The Rock. Know your role. And I think it was The Rock that said, no, you roll. And once everybody knows exactly what to do, it's going to be a completely different game. So this is at least what Evolve is right now.
Nice. So how many points do you get, or how much advancement do you get when you win as the monster, or when you lose as the monster?